Congressman, do you think it's responsible to bring up, as a representative of the American people, to bring up things, in your words, that are swirling on the internet?
The case gets a little stranger when you consider that before his death, Seth Rich was investigating several cases involving the DNC's electoral fraud and voter suppression, and was set to testify in a case of Hillary Clinton's email investigation. The content of his scheduled testimony isn't clear, but it does raise questions about the scandal involving the DNC. But that was all last July. To get up to speed, the case broke into the national spotlight once again on May 15th, when private investigator Rod Wheeler came forward, claiming that he was pretty sure there was more to the case than what was being reported in the news. Wheeler was hired by Rich's family in March to find Seth's murderer. According to Wheeler, he was in contact with a federal investigator who had personally laid eyes on Rich's laptop. An FBI forensic report made just 96 hours after Rich's death shows that he made contact with Gavin McFadden, a director of WikiLeaks and a mentor to founder Julian Assange. The federal investigator, who requested to remain anonymous, said that sometime before May 21st, 2016, Rich transferred 44,053 emails and 17,761 attachments belonging to DNC leaders. Those emails were dated from January of 2015 all the way to late May of 2016. On July 22nd, just 12 days after Rich was killed, WikiLeaks published the exact same number of DNC emails that were allegedly given to them by Rich, showing conspiracy against Bernie Sanders and leading to Debbie Wasserman-Schultz resigning as the DNC chairperson. Before recanting his story, he explained that after he called the police to inquire about Seth, a high-ranking member of the DNC promptly phoned the police as well and then called Rich's family. Apparently, the DNC member was demanding to know why Wheeler was snooping into Rich's death. Wheeler has now revealed that high-ranking DNC official was actually Donna Brazile, the disgraced former DNC chairwoman. Brazile, a CNN contributor and donor to Hillary Clinton's campaign, was forced to step down after she was caught feeding Clinton questions ahead of her presidential debate. Wheeler said Seth Rich had been having trouble at the DNC and was clashing with someone working there. That someone turned out to be Brazile.
A high-ranking official at the DNC, when I called the police department, they got that information and called the Rich family wanting to know why was I snooping around.
Wheeler says that he's convinced the answers to whoever is behind Rich's death are on his laptop. However, police say they don't know where the computer is, and the FBI says they don't have it. It was originally reported the FBI had conducted a forensics report of Rich's computer. But now they're claiming it's not their case, and they're referring all questions to the DC police. According to official visitors logs, Joe Capone, the manager of Lou's City Bar, the last place Seth Rich was seen before being shot, also visited the White House. Logs show that Capone stopped by on July 6th, just 4 days before Seth was shot and killed. And here's proof. A picture Capone took from inside the White House and posted online. The picture has since been taken down. The logs also show that he got a meeting in the East Wing, which makes him very special indeed, since that's the area reserved as office space for the First Lady. Well, the police still insist that Seth Rich's death was a robbery gone wrong and have no evidence that it was related to his job. But they don't have any evidence it was a robbery either. And their story has changed as well. There's a major discrepancy in the Metropolitan PD's press release, which originally stated that officers first heard gunshots and then responded to the shooting. The later reports insist that officers only found out about the shooting later from an alert on their digital audio surveillance system. There are still a lot of dots to connect and a lot of gaps that don't make sense. According to the mainstream media and Democrats in Washington, Seth Rich's case is a wild goose chase. The real culprits are in Moscow. The story goes that it's actually Russian hackers who broke into the DNC servers and leaked thousands of emails, costing Hillary Clinton the election. And since they say there's no evidence that Seth Rich was a leaker and that his investigation is a conspiracy theory, surely they've got evidence that it was Russia involved, right? Well, not so far. Despite John Podesta attacking the First Amendment rights of the free press and calling Sean Hannity and Newt Gingrich disgusting for questioning Seth Rich's murder, there's still no evidence that Russia was involved in the election in any way. Ignoring a total lack of evidence, Democrats insist their case is the truth and that Seth Rich's murder is just a wild goose chase. But there are a lot of wild geese to simply dismiss them all, especially when those behind the massive leaks that exposed the DNC in the first place say there's something going on. Speaking on Dutch TV program Nieuwsuur, Assange strongly implied that Rich was his informant, though he stopped short of saying it.
Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risks. There's a 27-year-old who works for the DNC who was shot in the back, murdered just 2 weeks ago for unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington.
According to a letter sent by more than 60 members of the House, the Clinton Foundation is a lawless, pay-to-play enterprise that has been operating under a cloak of philanthropy for years. Solving this case could reveal important clues in the 2016 election and how high up corruption at the DNC really went. So far, One American News, WikiLeaks, the DC Metropolitan Police, and even a Republican lobbyist, Jack Berkman, have all put substantial money towards finding Seth Rich's killer, totaling $250,000. But up to this point, the DNC has never offered any reward for information to help solve the murder of their own staffer. His death has received almost no attention, though to be fair, the DNC did dedicate a bike rack in his honor. For now, there are no clear answers as to who killed Seth Rich or why. Police have called it a robbery, but have no proof. There's growing evidence that it was something much more than a mugging gone wrong, but everyone on the left insists that it's nothing more than a conspiracy theory and coincidence. But it's not just one coincidence, or two. It's dozens, and they trace their way all the way to the highest branches of the DNC. Yes, it could be a coincidence that the officers were wearing body cameras, but the footage apparently can't be found. It could be a coincidence that the attending physician has direct ties to Hillary's right-hand man, John Podesta. And it could be a coincidence that Seth's father said that a security camera from a small convenience store across the street captured video of their son collapsing at the feet of two men, and that police say that now that footage doesn't exist. But the question we must ask ourselves now is, at what point does one coincidence, or 100, add up to something approaching the truth?